So in just 31 days, the tax year for the UK ends. So this basically means you need to use your ISA allowance as much as you possibly can before you lose it forever. And in this video, I'm going to go through my portfolio, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it. And more importantly, certain things you need to know about creating wealth in, hopefully, the best environment until further notice in the UK. Tax-free, capital gains tax-free. It's great. But I will be perfectly honest with you. This is an unbelievably powerful tool that the UK still have. I will talk about pensions as well a little bit. So yeah, use the allowances. Let's get into it. So you have until the 5th of April to do this, by the way, just saying. So yeah, every adult, £20,000. Now this is between the 4 types on the screen: the cash ISA, the stocks and shares, the innovative one, if I can say that word right, and the lifetime ISA. The lifetime ISA is going to get changed. Personally, I only have the stocks and shares ISA. I'm not too bothered about the others, I'll be honest, and I've said that before quite openly. So yeah, if you're in the UK, awesome tool. It makes sense. You can get the benefits and the obvious benefits of, as I said before, no capital gains tax, no dividend tax, no tax reporting, which is brilliant. So yeah, for long-term investors, fill it. I know it's only £20,000, and yes, you are limited, but I know that most people don't fill it that with £20,000. But you're better off having it in that than, say, a general investing account. Now, if you use like a traded 212, you will see what your allowance is. However, I'm going to say one thing and one thing only. If you have a cash ISA, if you have a lifetime ISA, if you have a other stocks and shares ISA elsewhere, you do have to do a little bit of maths, and you've got to figure out what your allowances are, which is why I only use one, because it's simple, it's easy. So I have almost filled mine. I'm going to explain what I'm going to do soon, but there's a couple of options you've got as well, what you need to do before obviously the 6th of April. Realistically, option 1, top it the freaking thing up. Top up your ISA. Let's get it in. Get as much money as you possibly can in. Now, other options is kind of the same as option 1. If you have a general investing account, which I understand some people will, and you may well be on, say, here and have it in your normal investing account, which you can, you need to move them over into your stocks and shares ISA pretty much, because you will get those tax benefits. If you have just started out and you are in a normal investing account, you're doing it kind of wrong. Get it in a stocks and shares ISA as quickly as you possibly can before the allowance resets, because the tax-free gains are going to outweigh, obviously, the profit most of the time. It's just common sense. And the final option, the obvious option, and it kind of goes again with option number 1, if you are sitting on too much cash and you want to protect it a little bit from tax in the future, your stocks and shares ISA will be your friend. Let's talk about pensions, because there's also an allowance there you need to be worried about. £60,000 is it? It's quite big, actually. 6th of April to the 5th of April, same sort of vibe. Again, tax relief on this with HMRC contribution bonuses. However, you've also got your employer contributions. I have not really focused much on my pension yet. I do have a decent chunk in it, not massive amounts though, but subscribe for more, because I will be talking more about pension in the next couple of months in terms of what my plan is for adding to my own pension. But personally, right now, I'm focused on my ISAs. Now for the interesting bit. I have sold one of my stocks, and I will go through why I've done it. And it was all due to yield. It was too high. However, I have deposited more money. So £2,200 has been added to my portfolio. We are down a little bit. I will go through why we're down. But it's doing okay. I'm still very, very happy with my portfolio. So I have sold Smith's News Group, which I get. It's high yield. 13% actually, pretty high in my viewpoint. However, it's not a bad stock. The only reason why it just doesn't fit my profile. Some people will like it, some people won't, but for me, it was too high. I did make some money on here, as you can see, a decent chunk of profit. I have made as well, as you can see, decent chunk of dividends on it. But as you can imagine, it was just too high for my portfolio, so I kind of just changed it. Have I replaced anything? No. All I've done, I've added an extra 5% to the UK dividend fund, which brings the total funds now up to 75% of the portfolio. So it's a bit of a better spread realistically, but has it changed much of the dynamic? Not really. Yield on cost is 3.74%. So the yield on cost on this portfolio over the cost time with those individual stocks and some of the funds as well is actually doing really well. So I'm starting to see a small, very, very small compound effect here, which is good. I'm happy with it. Realistically though, the dividend Payouts are a little bit lower due to the fact that the yield has been dropped a little bit with that sell, but nothing too drastic. But I'm very, very happy with this portfolio. When we look at the calendar as well, just going to put a point here, it's pretty consistent. Most of the months are full, apart from January. Well, apart from, well, yeah, you can look at November and February quite low, but I mean, June could be pretty big. So yeah, I do have some really nice dividend kind of payouts here. I am still in two minds about the Van Heck one, only because yes, it's got good growth and it does have good yield-ish. There is withholding tax here, so I am looking at maybe swapping that a little bit or changing one element around that sort of type of fund to make it better. But I do like it. I think it's a really underrated fund. So I might just swallow the withholding tax on that. But I know you're probably going to be asking, am I going to be buying other stocks? Possibly, but not yet. I'm very, very happy with having fund-based stuff with a couple of stocks sprinkled in there. I do have, as you can imagine, 5 stocks. I do have 3 funds. So yes, there's one less stock, which is okay. But overall, when we look at the overall picture, it's still a decent portfolio. There's still a good amount of spread. There's different sectors here, which are very, very important. I do, yeah, you could argue there's a couple of things I could change very, very easily, but I don't think I need to. So yeah, if you are interested in copying the pie, there's over 700 people now, I think, copy that or whatever it is, numbers, or 600 at least. So feel free to. There's a link below if you're interested. But let's talk about other things, because this is a problem that we have with a lot of these sort of platforms is, oh my God, there's that much going on. Where do I do my research? And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I've just been developing something pretty cool. But let's go back in terms of the goal and the process of this portfolio. Now, I often talk, bear with me, about me getting to £1 million at certain points. Now, yes, you could argue the contributions and whatever incoming, you get the idea. The thing is, right, we are going to hit a lofty number anyways, regardless. The returns are pretty good, reinvested the dividends, yeah, cool, cool, cool. Ignore the goal side, but obviously the portfolio value of the safe scenario, even if we're looking at 2030, we're still looking at 200k potentially, and the dividends on that will be pretty tasty, realistically. But going further down, you can see by certain numbers, with inflation and other growth metrics, whatever we may find, obviously, yes, Rachel from accounts in the government may well change all this, but we could be looking at some very, very good numbers by just adding that £20,000 every single year without fail, which is what this video is all about. Considering where we are in terms of the economy, in terms of Iran and all the other stuff in the Middle East right now, I'm pretty happy so far with what my portfolio is doing. I'm really glad I'm not all in tech. However, let's talk about stuff that I am doing. This is my website, Your Money Mate. I highly recommend that you jump in, only because I'm developing some awesome tools. I've now got 4 or 5 tools on here, and the new one is an ETF screener. And I want to go through it. This is in full-on beta mode. It is not anywhere near full yet or finished. There's only 59 ETFs on here. There's a lot of warning and trigger signs and stuff like that, but ultimately the idea is to kind of help you analyze your portfolio if you are looking to build one. Now, for obvious reasons, you've got a portfolio analyzer, you can compare them. Now, realistically as well, some of the data is quite old because it is coming directly from the fact sheet, which is only updated usually on a quarterly basis. Now, the reality is here as well. I need to add more data. There's only so much here, as you can see, but there's some good warning signs. It's telling you exactly what you need to see, and that helps, but there will be more added. But the thing that I think is amazing with this is the portfolio analyzer. Let me showcase the most common 3 that people tell me you should buy. Now, most people, or especially if you follow certain content creators, will tell you you should buy the All World Fund, the Nasdaq, and the S&P. Well, what the portfolio analyzer does, it allows you to see what the overlap is. Realistically, too much tech, too much overlap, and the fees are quite drastically high. It has a warning for obvious reasons. So it's quite a good tool. Yes, I'm developing it and I will make it better. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I make it a lot better. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It's free to use, email members only, just because of the traffic side of it. I don't want to kill it with traffic. I am getting, not to brag, a lot of people joining the website for free. I am looking to do a lot of things, content, video content courses, building other tools. I also have Your Investment Mate, which again, it's similar, but it's more around essentially stock research and finding out data from their official websites, which is pretty cool. It's just tools to help you. But most of these will be pretty much available via email only. And if you've not yet done so, there's a link below. Jump in. I'll see you there. But before we go, let's talk about what you need to do before the 6th of April. You need to top up your ISA as much as you possibly can and keep adding to your core ETFs to make your portfolio more stable. Reinvest any dividends that you get and just continue building. Over the course of time, it should become a habit. You should be enjoying potential low prices as well. Because once that date rolls over, your allowance for that year will reset and you've lost what you could have put in previously. And if you're interested as well in this tool, Snowball Analytics, you get 10% discount. They are doing a very, very big offer very, very soon. You can jump in on the free trial. If you like it, you can upgrade. And I think you can get 30% off coming up soon. So take use of the trial. But yeah, in the UK, we have this one very, very powerful tool that you should be using. So hopefully you've seen exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and what the reason is for why I'm doing it. Tax-free gains. But ask yourself one simple question if you can. Have you used your allowance to your full potential? You should be able to answer that pretty quickly. If you haven't done so, watch this video. It's a good one. It's all about ETFs and which ones you should be focusing on.